Okay.
It hasn't been easy being a Paper Mario fan. After the release of the second game, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, all the way back in 2004, we fans have been begging non-stop for a new game in the series, one that captures the same magic as the first two. But alas, we've instead been subjected to a number of experimental pseudo-sequels that are decent at best and at worst, well... But at long last, our calls have been heard. Our pleas to the powers that be have been answered. In May of this increasingly delightful year of 2020, a new game has been made available for pre-purchase on the Nintendo eShop. One that should make any fan of ye olde Paper Mario of yesteryear rejoice. And that game is none other than Bug Fables, the Everlasting Sapling, releasing May 28th of this year. Just one look at this game's trailer should instantly conjure up a pleasant sense of familiarity for fans of the series it takes inspiration from. The eShop description of the game promises 7 chapters taking place in such varied locations as the Lost Sands and the Bee Kingdom. Hearing these names out of context brings back memories of the beginning of the first Paper Mario, where you hear of Dry Outpost and the Shiver region, without knowing exactly what they are yet. It gets me excited, makes me want to discover these places. A few other fan-favorite features that Bug Fables lovingly lifts from the pages of Paper Mario include cooking, which is a fancy word for crafting, a perhaps all-too-familiar concept to anyone who's played a video game in the last 5 or so years, therefore I need not explain it. There's also various field abilities you can utilize outside of battles to solve puzzles, obtain items, uncover secrets, as well as the return of the Tattle ability, which lets you gather info regarding various aspects of the world around you. Lastly, the battle system is extremely reminiscent of this game's 0.1mm thick inspiration, complete with action commands. That's a fancy way of saying that you can block attacks with a well-timed button press and deal extra damage by following unique button cues, just like in these games. Okay, so Bug Fables is just indie Paper Mario, with bugs, right? So why not just play Paper Mario, you may be asking? Well, person who doesn't exist because nobody's actually going to watch this video, let me tell you! Based on the demo I played, and yes, there is a demo, which I recommend you play for yourself after watching, and please clicking like on this video, please, also leave a comment, thank you. Every feature in Bug Fables that pays homage to Paper Mario, Bug Fables tries to either one-up or at least add its own spin. The most obvious is, of course, the world and characters, which all revolve around insects and other creatures that will make Blathers squirm. Aside from that, let's go back to all those features I mentioned a minute ago, starting with field abilities. Paper Mario has partners, which are characters that follow the player around outside of battle and essentially act as tools to use in the environment. Bobbery goes boom, Vivian drags you into the upside down, etc. But while in that game you can only use one at a time along with Mario, Bug Fables has you controlling a party of 3 characters that you can seamlessly switch between at the touch of a button, each with their own abilities. For example, freezing water droplets into ice blocks with Leaf's magic, and pushing the blocks into place with Kabu's beetle horn. On that note, this particular puzzle is unlike any you'll find in Paper Mario, and I expect a lot more unique puzzles to present themselves as the game goes on. Speaking of partners, while I love these guys with all my heart, Paper Mario always has a tendency to introduce partners, make you love them, and then toss them aside like yesterday's trash in exchange for the next character in line at the chopping block, only bringing them back into play when you need to use one as a tool. At least they all remain viable as a partner in battle, but that's beside the point. Luckily, it doesn't look like Bug Fables will have that problem. You get 3 characters, Kabu, Vi, and Leaf, and they all remain in your party in and out of battle for the entire game. They share scenes together, they work together, and they're always in the spotlight. So it's more like a traditional JRPG in that sense. I've only played the demo, but I can already see massive potential in these characters. Each has a unique personality, with Vi the Bee being my favorite. Haha, like, comment, and subscribe! And what about that Tattle feature I mentioned? In this game, when you use Tattle to learn about the area, all 3 characters actually interact with each other, rather than just one person talking. This is something that should be in every game with a party, but to my immediate knowledge, only Dragon Quest does this. And this doesn't just stop at tattling, it also extends to the simple act of talking to an NPC. Your party members will actually chime in. Again, you'd think that every game would do this, but most of them don't. And the ones that do always stand out above the rest. Having the main characters interact more with each other in the game world does wonders for characterization. Shocking, I know. I honestly can't wait to join Kabu, Vi, and Leaf as the story progresses around them, and I can only hope they live up to the high expectations I have for them based on the demo. Okay, so I mentioned cooking, I talked about tattling, the characters, their overworld abilities, puzzles, what else is there? Let's go to the eShop. Over 30 side quests and 15 optional bosses, dang! Oh wait, I forgot about battles. So yet another thing that Bug Fables sets out to improve upon is Paper Mario's battle system. All the good stuff is here. Hold down the button and release at the right time to pull off Kabu's horn attack. Press the button each time the meter overlaps the icon to deal extra damage with Vi's boomerang. Press the correct button that appears to increase your magic damage, reduce damage by blocking in time. These commands and button prompts ensure that each battle is fun to play and you're always part of the action. But they don't just recycle Paper Mario's battle system and call it a day. Need I remind you that there's a third person in your party, and need I explain how that increases the game's complexity by giving the player more battle options? Also unique to Bug Fables is the turn relay feature. This allows you to make one character give up his turn in battle to another character, giving that character 2 actions, at the cost of making their subsequent attacks a bit weaker. So let's say there's nothing but multiple flying enemies that can only be knocked out of the air with Vi's boomerang, making your other characters useless in this instance. Well, have one of them give up their turn to Vi, so that she can knock down one enemy with her first action, and another with her next. Now you can use a remaining character to finish off one of the enemies while it's on the ground. So in short, more party members plus turn relay equals a more complex and potentially more fun battle system. Beating enemies earns you experience points, and for every 100 points you obtain, you get a choice of increasing your party's health, their ability points, or their medal points. Medals are items you can equip to have a variety of effects in and out of battle, such as increasing your HP. In the demo, you can equip a hard mode medal that makes enemies stronger while increasing your rewards for beating them. The more medal points you have, the more medals you can have equipped at once. It's literally the same concept as badges in Paper Mario. Badges were awesome in that game, and I can't wait to see what sort of medals the Bug Fable developers have come up with for this game, as I'm sure there's going to be plenty of creative ones. So if you're still listening, this game looks awesome, and if you like those old Paper Marios, you should most definitely keep your eye on this game. And if you're still not convinced, the game has been out on Steam for a while, and the reviews are freaking gushing. I was a little apprehensive at first. I was like, this trailer looks cool, but I mean, I don't know. And then I read the Steam reviews, and I was like, whoa. It looks like everybody who's played Bug Fables loves Bug Fables. And gosh dang it, I can only hope the full game manages to live up to my current level of hype when it releases on consoles on May 28th. Also, this is my first video in almost 3 years, and I have a lot more in the works, so seriously, just clicking like before closing the tab can mean the difference between this and other videos of mine actually getting seen by other people or not. It sure would suck to put in so much effort only to find myself talking to a brick wall. All's I'm saying.
All's I'm saying.
Thank you for watching, from me and my good friend Donkey Kong.